Okay. Now okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, so this is the named input method that we have seen yesterday, right? So suppose say here, we have the missing value for e name. Okay. So wherever you have the missing value, just place it with a dot. Okay. In named input method, if
Okay.
you have a missing value, either a character data value is missing or if a numeric data value is missing, irrespective of that, just keep dot. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
See, now it is reading the data correctly. Okay. The next one, in output method. In output method, what we have to do means, if you have the missing data, okay. So this is our output method, no? See here. Here EMP ID, employee ID is a numeric data type. In output method, if a numeric data type value is missing, then replace it with dot. Okay. If a character data value is missing, then replace it with a blank space that is placed in quotations. Okay. Keep a
Okay.
blank space that is placed in quotations. In output method, if a character data value is missing, you have to represent like this. If a numeric data value is missing, then represent with dot.
Okay. Got it now.
Okay, got it now? Yeah. So like this we do represent. Okay. Mm. So yesterday we have seen so many methods, right? Like input method, output method, and input method we have seen so many methods like list input method, advanced list input method, column input method, formatted input method, and output method. These are the 5 methods that we have seen yesterday. But what is the method that we use in real time means generally while we are creating um, data sets in clinical sector, mostly in pharma sector, when we are creating some data sets, okay, like SDTM data sets or ADAM data sets, in that case, we'll be making use of the output method, okay. In that case, we'll use output method. But in normal programming, okay, in normal programming, for suppose if you want to create a SAS data set and the data is present in some other source, okay, like in a text file or in an Excel file or in some other database, if the data is present, then how to bring that data into SAS means there are some methods which we have to follow in order to get the data from external sources into SAS. That is the most common method that we will be following. Okay. So we will not sit and enter the data like how we have done yesterday. We import the data from some other sources into SAS by using some methods. Okay. So for today, what we'll see is we'll see how to import the data from the external file. Okay. External text file. Okay. And also we import the data from some other sources like say some Excel file, CSV file, Access database or else any other database. We import the data which will be covered in the later programming. Okay. So by using two procedures like proc import to import the data into SAS and from out of SAS, like from SAS to other any external sources, if you want to export the data, that you do by using the proc export procedure. We'll do that proc import and proc export later in the programming, okay? But in today's class, what we'll do is we'll see how to import the data that is present in a text file into SAS, okay? And also today we'll cover another concept called input options, okay? Infile statement and infile options. These two concepts we will be covering today. Okay, how to import the data from a text file and about infile statement and options and its options. So first we'll start with infile statement and options. Okay. Infile statement and options. Now so what are the different infile is a statement and what are the different infile options? Coming to the different infile options, we have DLM. DLM is one of the infile option, okay, which is called as delimiter, okay. Delimiter is nothing but how we define the delimiter. So by which value two data values are getting separated, that value we call as the delimiter, okay. For suppose if two data values are separated by space, okay, then we call that space as the delimiter, okay. Delimiter is nothing but it separates two data values by some of the other characters, special character or any other character, okay. So if two data values are separated by comma, then we call comma as the delimiter, okay. So by what value two data values are separated, that value we call as the delimiter, which is represented with the symbol DLM. Okay. The next option is flow over. Okay, flowover option we'll see. The next one is Misover or trunkover. Trunkover. Okay, Misover or trunkover. The functionality of both the options is same. The next one is stop over. Okay, the next one is stopover. We'll see these options next. The first option is DLM, right? So we'll first discuss about this DLM. In order to discuss this, let us import, not import. Here I have already written a program. We'll copy that program because if we again type all this program, it will be time consuming thing, right? So I'll just copy this program. Okay. So this is nothing but here we are creating a data set called EMP details, employee details with variables. See, employee ID, employee name and department. Here we are declaring employee name and department as the character variables. Okay. By using card statement, we are entering the data value. So this is nothing but list input method, right? Okay. Create the data set. Okay, so we have created the data set. So where this data set will be created by default in work library, right? So EMP details. Okay. Now, so here by what the two data values are separated by what value? By space, correct? So here this space we call as the delimiter. This space is the default delimiter in SAS. So if any two data values are separated by space, then we no need to tell to SAS like two data values are separated by space. But if any two data values are separated by any other value or any other character except space, like other than space, if two data values are separated by any other value, then we have to tell to SAS that two data values are separated by that particular value. Then only SAS will understand like, okay, these two are two separate data values. Okay. Now suppose say here, these two data values are separated by comma. Okay. Hmm? By comma. Now if you run the program, definitely it will not give you the correct output if you see. See? SAS will not understand like what data value is what. Okay. So because of that, it is not giving you the correct result. So here you have to tell to SAS like these two data values are separated by comma. Okay. How to tell that means by using infile statement and DLM option, delimiter option. Right here after the data step, after the data statement, write infile. In which file the data is present here? In cards. Am I recording? So in which file the data is in which file the data is present? In cards, right? So right here in file cards. Okay. Here what you have to tell to SAS, what is the delimiter that you have to specify to SAS. DLM equals to, in quotation, specify what is the delimiter. Put comma. Okay. DLM equals to comma. Now you run the program, it will be giving you the exact correct output. Okay. So like this, will make SAS understand like what is the delimiter. Okay. Next thing. So when two data values are separated by comma, in that case, you no need to either you can write DLM equals to in quotations comma, or you can say like DSD. DSD is nothing but delimiter sensitive data. You can also make use of this option. only when two data values are separated by comma. Okay, this option will work. Clear? So you can choose any. So depending on our comfort level, you can write either DLM equals to in quotations comma, or you can simply use DSD option. Now suppose say if the data values are separated by various special characters, okay, like comma, okay, at the rate, percentage, okay, the same by single quotation, okay, similarly by um, open bracket or closed bracket. So like this, the data values are separated. Okay. Same method, specify the delimiter. What are the different delimiters here? In quotation, specify all the delimiters. What is the first one? Comma, next ampersand, at the rate, percentage, okay, ampersand, open bracket, also closed open bracket, and then quotation, right? Now, so if two data values are separated by quotation, then you have to specify that quotation twice. Okay? Why you have to specify the quotation twice means where you are placing the delimiter characters, special characters in quotation marks, no? So here you are opening the quotation. So we know that this quotation is nothing but it is the one that is separating two data values. But how SAS will understand this? SAS will understand this quotation as the closing quotation of this opening quotation. Okay. So because of that reason, you have to, whenever two data values are separated by quotation, you have either single quotation or double quotation specified twice. Okay. Two times. And then after that, closing bracket, right? Put closing bracket. Now you run the program, so it will read the data correctly. Okay. So like this, by when two data values are separated by uh, other delimiters, other than space, if they are separated by any other delimiters, then you can make use of this infile statement and DLM option. Okay. Here you just specify the path where the data is present. Here, since it is present in card statement, we are writing cards. Okay. In wherever path, in whatever path that the data is present, give that path here. That's it. Okay. Next one. What is the next option? Flow over, right? Flow over is nothing but floor option. Floor option is nothing but it is the default SAS programming nature. Okay. So why I'm telling it as the SAS default programming nature means generally SAS program it will execute first it will execute the first program line and then it will execute the second program line. So it will execute all the statements in sequence, like one by one it will execute. Okay. So that we call as the default nature of the SAS programming, like how it reads the program. So first what it will read, first it will read this line, okay, data employee details. So it will create a data set called employee details. By that time it will be an empty data set when it reads only the first program line. Then when it reads the input statement, like input keyword, then it will understand, okay, here we are assigning the variable name. So it will read the variable name. Then after entering into the card statement, okay, then it will read, okay, for employee ID it will read 101, for ename it will read the value rate, and for department it will read the value IT. Okay. So it will create the first observation. So how many observations are present? That many times it will read the input statement. Okay. So after creating the first observation, so when it has to, when it goes into the next second line in the card statement, it will again read the input statement, variable names, employee ID, employee name, and department. So once it reads the variable names, then it will assign the variable values. To employee ID, it will assign 102, and to e-name, it will assign Dan, and to department, it will assign OPS. Okay. So like this, how many data, how many observations are present here? That many times it will read the input statement to create that observations. Okay. And finally, It will create the SAS dataset. Because of this program, it will print the dataset in the output window. Okay. That is how it will work. That default nature we call as the flow over. Okay. The next one is, so here even though if you mention that option or if you don't mention that option, that's not a problem since it is the default nature. So what is the data line or the program statement that runs in background is infile, in which file the data is present, cards. Okay. Flow over. This is the default program statement that will be running in the system background. So even if we define or if we don't define, that doesn't matter. Okay. The next option is Misover or trunkover. What this Misover or trunkover option will do is, for suppose if we have any missing data, okay, like for suppose if Rick is missing, okay, then what we are doing? We are keeping the missing, in order to represent that missing value, we are keeping period, right? Period is nothing but dot. We are keeping that dot. So similarly, whatever data values, whatever data values it is missing, we are keeping that dot. Okay. Now, instead of keeping that dot, so every time if we forget to place the dot, then obviously it is reading the data incorrect, right? It is not reading the data correctly. So to avoid that, what we can do is we can make use of either this Misover option or trunkover option. Okay. So the Misover or trunkover option will take care of that. If any value is missing, they will automatically assign the dot. Rather than we assigning manually, if you make use of that option, it will assign. Okay. Suppose say here IT value is missing. Okay. Say here this OPS value is missing. Okay. Now rather than replacing it with missing value, write here Misover. Okay. See, it will assign the missing value, or like it will assign the missing value automatically. The dot it will assign automatically. Okay. Next. So this Misover option will work. Suppose say here this value is present. Okay. Department value is present and Rick value is missing. Okay. Now you see what will be the result. See what it is doing? For employee name, it is reading the value IT, right? So this Misover option will work more efficient if the last variable data values are missing. Okay. The concept of this Misover is how many variable names you have here? Employee ID, employee name, and department. 3 variable names you have, right? Here, how many values do you have? 101 and IT. So employee ID 101. What is the next variable? Employee name and IT. Correct? So we defined this employee name as the character data value. This is also the character data value, so it is assigning. Now for department, is there any data value that is present after IT? No, right? So because of that, it is assigning for department as the missing value. Okay. So in each and every line, it will look for 3 values. Okay. 3 values as in, since it has here 3 variable names, it will look for 3 values. Okay. It will keep assigning. So to last variable, if it couldn't find any data, so here you have 3 variables and here you have only 2 variables, like 2 values. So for last variable, it couldn't find the value in this first line. So what it is doing is for department, it is assigning the missing value. Okay. Trunkover is also same functionality. So instead of writing here Misover, write trunkover. That's it. Okay. So that's the reason either this Misover or trunkover option, what it will do is they will work more effectively if the last variable data values are missing. Clear about Misover?
Yes.
Yes, no? Okay. Kiran for you? Pavan
Yes,
Bhatt
Pavani.
data. Tell me, Kiran.
Yeah, it's clear, but I'm not clear with the flow over. In what perspective we have to use flow over? Even though we didn't use it, will run in that way only, right?
In the same way, Flowover is nothing but the default option. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's no
Now,
specific usage by specifying flowover, right?
no. We don't need to specify flowover because that is like the
Okay.
default nature of the SAS programming is flowover. Okay. So we don't need.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, the next option is stopover. What is the difference between this misover or trunkover and stopover means? See here, even though if the value is missing, it is running the program, right? Like it is executing the program and it is giving you the output. Okay, but it is assigning the missing value to the last variable. That's it. Stopover, what it will do is wherever it finds the shortest length as in here how many data variable names we have? Three variable names. And how many data values do we have here? Two data values. So which is nothing but the shortest length, correct? Here the length is 3. 3 is nothing but like 3 count. Here what is the values count? 2 count. The count of the values is 2 because here we have only 2 values. So it is of the shortest length, right? Shortest length as in when compared to this, here this is the shortest one. So that's the reason wherever it encounters the shortest length, it will stop executing at that particular point. Okay. So that is the usage of stopover. If you want, you can check. Okay. Stopover. Now run this program. See, it is not executing. Here it will give you an error. See, input statement exceeded the record length. Infile cards option stopover is specified. Because of specifying this option, since it has exceeded the length, record length, what is record is nothing but observation. Okay, this observation or record, we can call either way. So it has input statement has exceeded the record length. What is the record length? 2. And what is the input statement length? 3. Because of that reason, it is not executing. So wherever it encounters the shortest length, shortest record length, at that particular point, it will stop executing the program. Okay. That is the use of stopover. Now got the difference between misover and stopover?
Yes,
Got it, right?
I
Uh,
got it. Yeah.
Pavan Bhai, Kiran, Shweta, Yojita.
Yes, got it.
I have one question, Pavani.
Shweta, tell me.
Yeah, can we use these statements like DRM or flowover in a one data set, right? Here you are using only one, but if I want to use 2 or 3, we can use that.
You can use in combination also.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use in combination also. Any input, any infile options you can use in combination too. But there is no purpose of using both misover and stopover at the same time, right? Because stopover nature is different, misover nature is different. But you can
Okay.
use DLM. Okay, I'll tell you like what. Suppose say here the data values are separated by comma. In that case, you can mention both stopover option and DLM option. Like DLM equals to, you can say like comma. And you can make use of the stopover. Like this, you can make two options together.
Okay, got it.
Not clear? Okay. This
Yeah.
is about the infile option. The next one is, what's the next concept today I told you I'll cover? Importing the data from a text file, right? The second one. Yes. We'll do that. Okay. So creating the SAS datasets from importing the data from a text file. Okay. By importing the data from a text file. So here I have already some data files. I'll be sending you all these data files. Okay. So here we have different text files and in that files we have the data. Suppose let us open this bands. See, this is the data that we have in bands. Okay. So if you open this pension document here, this is the data. Now we have to take all this data into SAS. Okay. So for all these files, if you observe here, we from the starting from the first line, we are having the data, right? So what about the variables? Like what variable names that we have to assign? Okay. Here we have the list of the variable names also, like for each and every data set. For bands, if you take, These are the variable names. Okay. If you take pension, these are the variable names that you have to assign. If you take person one data, these are the variable names that we have to assign. Okay. So now first we'll start with pension, like how to import this pension data into SAS. Okay. Same process, data, whatever data set. So it is not necessary that you have to give the same name. Okay. Whatever is the file name, it is not necessary that you have to give the same file name. You can give whatever name that you want. Okay. So here I'll give as test. Okay. Data test. Next. Infile. By using infile and input statement, we import the data here. Infile. Here, in this infile statement, in quotations, define the path. So wherever that file is located, give that path here. So how to know the path means right click, go to properties, go to security. Okay. So here you will have the complete path. Okay. Take the complete path and give here. Okay. So this is the path. Now, right here input. Okay, input. In input statement, generally what we do, we assign the variable names, right? Here also same. You assign the variable names. Input. Take here variable list. Pension document, right? This is the variable names. I'll just directly copy it. Okay. These are the variable names. Okay. If you want, you can cross check. Just open this pension document. So ID. How many variables do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Just check the count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And here we are declaring gender, P group and A group as the character data. Just check like are these the character data or not. See 2, 3 and 4 variables are of character data only. Okay. So just declare. This is correct. Now end the program with run statement. Okay. Now, from which dataset you are importing the data, make sure that that file is closed. Okay, that file should not be opened. Check the log window. See, so it is saying like 1000 records were read. Okay. Now check where we have created the one in work library. Open this work library. See, all the data that whatever is present in the text file, we brought all the data into SAS. Okay. This is how you can get the data into SAS. Okay. So we'll try importing some more files. Same method, okay? No different. So I'll create another data set called test2. Okay, test2. Now which data we'll import? We'll try importing this bands document. Whatever data that is present in bands, we'll import that data. If you observe here, now here what is the delimiter? In pension, since space is the delimiter, we didn't mention any delimiter option because that is the default delimiter. Now here what is the delimiter? If you observe,
Comma.
comma. So we have to specify that part. Okay. And also if you observe here, the last value is missing.
Yes.
Okay. So for that, what is the option that we can use? Misover or trunkover. Any option we can use, right? So we'll use that option. Now let us take the path. Since it is the same path, both the files are located in same path. If I change the file name, that should be fine, right? Also same type, like both are text files only. So we'll just change the file name. Okay. Next, input. Here we have to change the variable name. To variable names, check the variable list bands. Now, DLM equals to, right here, DLM equals to comma or else DSD option. You can also make use of the DSD option. Okay. Next, this Misover option we have to make use of, right? Right here, this Misover. Okay. Run the program. Check the log. 5 records were created. Okay. Open the data set. here, if you observe why we are not getting the complete name, because of the length constraint, right? So we have to increase the length of which variable? Band name. Okay, we'll increase the length. The default length is 8 characters, no? So it is taking till 8 characters, and after that it is truncating. So we have to increase the length. How to increase the length? By using the length statement. Right here, length of which variable?
And underscore name.
Sorry.
Band underscore name dollar.
Yeah, band underscore name and dollar.
So,
How much will increase? To 30 will increase? I think 30 should be fine. No? What is the greater one? This one. So I think 30 should be fine. No, it won't be more than 30 characters. Okay. Run the program again. Test. Good. Okay, now it is reading the complete name, right? Okay, so like this we can import the data from a text file into SAS by using input and infile statement. Okay, next we'll try importing some other file too. The next one is person1. We'll try importing this person1 file. Okay, so if you observe here, now here what is this delimiter? Tab, like tab space. Okay, not like single space, it's like tab space. Okay, now when the data values are separated by tab space, okay, then what is the delimiter that you have to make use of? Okay, so I'll create another data set called test. Here we'll see like whether we have to use this length statement or not. And here if I change this file name, that should be fine, right? Because same type files and also same path. Change here person1.txt. Here what is the delimiter? Tab, right? So if tab is the delimiter, then you have to make use of 09 in quotation and out of that X. This is the hexadecimal notation for tab. Okay. So for every value we'll have that hexadecimal notation, right? So for tab, this is the hexadecimal notation. Okay. Input 09X. In quotation, place 09 and after that you place X. Okay, if you want to make use, if you want to keep this restore option, you can keep. If you want to delete also, you can delete. That's not a problem. Okay. So what it will do, if any data value is missing, then it will take care of that, right? That's it. So if no data values are missing, it will not do anything. It will just remain stable. Okay, like it will not function. It will just there be in the program. That's it. Okay. But this is the hexadecimal notation of tab which we have to remember. Okay. 09 in quotations and out of that X. Now, what are the variable names? Which dataset we are importing? Person1. What are the variable names for person1? ID, name and gender. Okay. So use this ID, name and gender. Test 3. Open this. And now it is reading the data correctly. Okay. So like this, we have to import the data into SAS from different text files. Clear, right?
Yes.